we live on social media right now.
Hey,
So,
what's going
but
on?
we can still
Hey.
chill and talk though. The show is not going to start. Okay, yeah. So now we live. So yeah. So what I'm gonna do is share it and unblock these settings. For some reason, this radio station got my settings to only me can see the video. So if you go to
Gotcha.
my page right now, you probably wouldn't see it. So let me change these settings.
Richard Tyler. I say Richard Tyler right now. It says live.
Taylor
Okay.
House Publishing. Shout
Yeah,
out.
just a message.
Do,
Hope929.
do you see? Is it live? No, so it's not live
Nope,
yet.
nope.
So now it should be live in public so everyone can see.
I don't see it, Richard.
So let's see. Let's see what we have here. Let me check. Let me check.
I see it.
Okay. So it is public. You see it? Did you go? If you can you see it on my page?
I'm on your page.
Okay. Can you see the video? Can you see it on my page, Selwyn?
Hold on. No.
Refresh the page.
What's up, Big Rich? Hello, everyone.
Hey, y'all, come on in. We got
you.
y'all let us know y'all here. The show will be starting in about 3 minutes. We're making sure.
Goldsboro.
So yeah,
Eastern
share it
Wayne.
from your page, Sel, because it won't let me tag you. So share it, share it from my page to your page. And Liz, do you see me too?
Am I your
see
friend
you.
on Facebook?
No, you're not my friend, but we can be friends. Look at Richard Taylor and you'll see me. Uh-oh. She done left the broadcast. Okay.
I'm here.
Hey, how you doing, McGlack? But your camera is off.
Okay, that was an accident. I apologize.
All right. Okay. How you doing, Miss McCullers? Thank you for joining us. This is going to be an excellent show. Now, in about a minute, I'm gonna switch the microphones to the radio station, so you won't be able to hear me until the radio show starts.
Hey, stay close to your mic because earlier you were fading out on our last show.
Yeah, that's okay. Oh, on the last show.
Oh, I was talking Uncle Selwyn.
Oh, okay. But yeah, thank you, Miss McCullers for joining us. She's joining via YouTube. But yeah, so we're gonna start the show. We got Selwyn Jones and Elizabeth Darden, Councilwoman Elizabeth Darden, the co-founders of Hope929. Many people know Selwyn Jones as the uncle of the late George Floyd. We're going to be talking to them about their organization, their plight, their passion, and what they are doing around the nation. So stay tuned. I'm going to switch the microphones now, so y'all won't be able to hear me until the show starts.
Hello, everyone. I come from Goldsboro.
You have to start, come on now, man.
G-Town in the house. Uh-oh. Hello, everyone.
And good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another episode of the U-Turn Show. I am your host, Richard A. Taylor,
And here at Awesome Radio 106.9 FM here in Greenville, North Carolina. If you have not been to our website, please go to WBISAwesomeRadio.org where you can download all of our apps on the Google Play, the Apple Store, and Alexa. Also, this is an interactive call-in show, so I'm going to be putting the number up there. Feel free to call in 252 756 2008, and I'll be putting that number up periodically. But today we have an exciting show. I have two very special guests. I've met each of these individuals within about a week. So I would like to introduce Selwyn Jones and Elizabeth Darden. How are you guys doing?
Doing great.
Thank you for having us, Big Rich. I sure appreciate it, man. It's nice to welcome you into our fold.
All right, and so I'm going to start with you, Self, and give the people a little bit of background of who you are, what you do, and why you are here today.
First of all, my man Richard Taylor from Goldsboro, North Carolina, where I'm from, is messing up my name very badly. My name is Uncle Selwyn, not Uncle Selvy, but that's just Richard. Hey everyone, I am Uncle Selwyn, aka Selwyn Jones. I am the uncle of the late George Floyd, and I'm just here to show my man some propers and to just sit back and kick it today and chat. He's a hometown boy, so hey, here we are, man, doing our thing.
All right, and Ms. Darden.
Yes, it's so good to be here, Richard. We were looking forward to it. This is an important conversation I just feel that we are about to have. I was born and raised in Alaska. I currently reside in Harrison, Arkansas, where I'm now a councilwoman. And I met Uncle Selwyn a couple years ago. We became business partners. And throughout the show, you'll hear our story and what our mission is. So we appreciate the opportunity to communicate with you tonight.
All right. Thank y'all for joining in. And actually, you may not remember, but I met Selwyn in Wilmington,
Philly.
Delaware about 2 years ago when we were advocating
right.
for Lamont Moses, who was shot and killed by the police a few years earlier, and his family had yet to receive justice. Selwyn, I'll start with you. How has it been with you and your experiences about traveling around the country? I think that day we had Jacob Blake's father and Breonna Taylor's relative, as well as some other activists of deceased family members. How has it been for you joining forces with those individuals and traveling around the country advocating for social justice in those situations?
It takes an army to win a war. And we've been fighting this war, brother, for 400 plus years. But the war that I've been involved in is the war that was created 3 years ago while my big sister baby boy was laid down beside a car in a street in Minneapolis, Minnesota on 38th in Chicago, and the world changed. As I was speaking earlier today, if you're old enough to remember, you remember when the space shuttle exploded. You remember Desert Storm. You remember 9/11. And you remember the day that you saw the video of George Perry Floyd going from laughing, dancing, begging, crying, and dying in front of, I don't know, 6.5, 8 billion people's eyes. So man, we just been getting it, man. We've been just trying to make a difference. And I don't believe in grieving per se. Grieving was fuel for me because me coming from the little great town of Goldsboro, living in the country off a tobacco farm, I saw a lot of things that weren't right, were unjust, were degrading, were humiliating. But yet, what doesn't break you necessarily don't make you. But it don't break you in a sense, because I use fuel, man. I use fuel from all those hot 110-degree days in the tobacco field. You know, I remember those days like it was yesterday, my man. You know, and I thank each and every individual that I've ever met in Goldsboro, and I learned something from everybody that I had impact from, because it taught me how to be a better person and be a stronger person for this battle that I had set forth to be in.
And you, Miss Darden, Selwyn just told us about, how he felt watching that video and the impact. What kind of impact did that video? Of course, y'all didn't know each other then. What were you thinking? What was going through your mind when watching that video and hereafter?
It wasn't too far after Ahmaud Arbery. I remember we were going on a run in this community, Harrison, Arkansas. Some of you out there might have seen some viral videos or some articles out there that they label this town the most racist town in the nation, which is a false label. But there was a group of people that were running around or doing the run for Ahmaud Arbery. And when George Floyd was murdered, I couldn't watch the video. I know a lot of people watch the video. As a mother raising Black children, I couldn't watch the video knowing that there were people probably 10 miles down from where I live, the headquarters of the KKK, amused by that. Probably would sit back with their popcorn or something. I don't know. I couldn't, in my heart, it was just enough to know the pain and suffering of my Black brothers and sisters for the past centuries, going through the perpetuating issues that are happening day in and day out because of the system, because of systemic racism. I was mad and I became very vocal, but that was such a pivotal moment in my life, because I lived in this community for, at that point, 7-8 years. And I had gotten involved with the task force on race relations to help bridge the gaps in understandings. But at that point, I was just mad, and we had a lot of marches, and I was very outspoken. I was very vocal, and I spoke then, and I sent the video to Selwyn not that long ago. I was like, man, my delivery sure has changed over the past 3 years, because at that point, I was heated.
I need to show you that video.
Okay.
I'm thinking somebody was gonna tase her, man. She's out there hollering.
No, don't.
No. She was out there, man. That same passion that she displayed in May, June of 2020. That's the reason why we're sitting here today.
Yeah.
2023, daggone 24.
Because part of what
I seen her 9 months after that.
Mm-hmm.
Same passion. She didn't even know who I was. Her mother knew, but she didn't know. And she went on about business, man, just like warriors do. Don't matter where you at, who you're with. The only person you can be is you. And she was her in front of all these people. And she never knew. A lot of times, you know how it goes. When you get around people and people think, well, that certain person's around, you got to put a little emphasis in it. And she had no idea who I was. And she was at it. She went at it hard, son. I had goosebumps when she walked up the stage. Rich, I'm telling you, goosebumps were on my arm. And I gave her a fist bump, like, wow. Yeah, we've been sort of kind of like, Batman and Batgirl and Batman.
Background to that, when you came here, I was coordinating an event. I had hosted the importance of voting events, and this event was in collaboration with the Martin Luther King Commission, the Unity in the Community event, and we partnered up with people out of Little Rock. So we have people from all around the state here, and Deshaun Scarborough invited Selwyn Jones to this event. I found out who he was at the beginning, but I remember standing on that stage, just receiving an award, and I spoke. And when I got off, I gave him a fist bump. And it was that moment that changed the course of my life, because a week later, I gave him a call, and he introduced me to several impacted mothers whose sons, daughters had been impacted by police brutality. And just hearing their stories, it just pulled my heartstrings. And then attending events around the country, seeing different organizations come together and search and fight for police reforms. We were like, what could we do to bring solutions to all these individuals? We wanted to help as many people as we could. So we came up with Hope929, which helps historically marginalized groups. We want to give tools to communities, to disempowered individuals, and lift them up. Those that want a second chance, that are coming out of incarceration, overcoming homelessness, and recovery and addiction, we wanted to help them because they deserve a second chance. We all do. And so we wanted to help as many people as we could. So that's the journey we're on now. It's a little bit about background.
Everybody has to dig within self to be a warrior, to be strong. And radio land, podcast land, Facebook, the person that is interviewing me today is a Tyrannosaurus Rex when it comes down to winning. Richard Taylor is a Tyrannosaurus Rex. And let me tell you, buddy, I'm in awe. I interviewed him Saturday, man. And, I know people in podcast land or radio land, I'm going to use this terminology, but I don't want people to get carried away with it because it's just terminology because of respect and candor and love. I got a boy crush.
Here we go.
I got a boy crush on Richard Taylor because let me tell you something. This young man has started an after-school program. He's written 3 books. He has lifted his life, and he lifts people's lives around him. So that's what I mean by having a boy crush. Because if we had more men like this in this world, we'd have a heck of a lot better world. So that's for Richard.
Yeah.
That's for Richard.
Thank you. Now, where does the 929 come from?
9 minutes and 29 seconds that my nephew had to beg, suffer, cry, and die.
Okay.
We have sort of kind of a skit where I generally will make you close your eyes, and I will start at 9 minutes and 29 seconds. And I will tell you that I am fighting. I'm fighting like heck right now, man. I think I might have a chance to get out of this. I just got to compose myself. Then we're at 8 minutes. My chest is hurting. My side is hurting. My back is hurting. We're at 6 minutes now. Wow, it's a little harder to breathe. My neck's hurting. I can't breathe. We're at 4 minutes now. It's a little hard here now. I don't know where I'm going to be at, but I don't think I'm going to be okay. About 7 minutes, he hollers for my sister. My sister's holding her hands down to him and said, "Come on with me, child. It's time to come with Mama. Mama wants to make it okay." We're at 8 minutes now. I know I'm not going to make it. At 8:26 and 15 seconds, at 9 minutes and 29 seconds, the life left my nephew, and the world has changed from that day. That is a description of how a man gets tortured in the middle of the street by people that are supposed to protect and serve. And they killed him in 9 minutes and 29 seconds.
And you mentioned your sister reaching down to him, so I assume she's deceased as well.
She died a year and 4 days before him. She died, no. Yeah. No, she died 61 days. She died on May the 28th. He died on May the 25th. So, it was a pretty rough year for my man because I always tell people, you lie to anybody in the world. One person you can't lie to. Remember when you stopped lying to yourself?
Definitely.
And life changed. Life changed. Once you realize that I can lie to anybody, but I can't lie to myself, and you realize those lies that you've been telling yourself are not real. It's just an illusion. It's just a thought. So now what we do is we dream, we breathe, then we deliver. So there's no more lies. So,
Yeah,
hey,
we wanted to implement the 9 minutes and 29 seconds because of the impact that George Floyd's murder had on this world. It brought a lot of people together in unity and to make a stance and to say enough is enough. And if it wasn't for Darnella Frazier there recording it, we wouldn't be having this conversation. Uncle Selwyn wouldn't be here. We wouldn't be able to utilize this platform. And we don't want to take advantage. We want to utilize to lift people up. And that's what our mission is at this point moving forward. And it's just like he said in the beginning, it takes a collective effort to move mountains and to accomplish this mission that we were put here to do.
we're not doing this because we want to, Rich. You're not doing this because you want to. You're doing this because it is needed. How many of those little babies you see and you can look at? Have you ever seen a sad baby? You ever seen a happy baby? I never knew what happy babies were. And I look at my babies, and when I get in the car, I could be 3 hours away from them. When I get in the car, they're jumping, they're hugging on me. And at all the places I go, I sit and I look at babies. I remember one specific one in New Orleans, and she had a look in her eye like she was just broken. And I wish I could have just, I sat beside her and I was like, little sweetie, how are you? Do you and your brother need anything? And she's like, I'm not supposed to talk to strangers, but I could eat. And I just saw that in that little baby's eyes, man. And sometimes people don't make the right choices, and decisions for their life. But it's the babies that we have to lift up, as well as people. But those babies, they didn't ask to be here, So it's our job to lift them up and give them an opportunity to be whole people. It's our right and our need at Hope929 is to give people a helping hand, not a handout, but a hand up to make a difference in their life. Because, Rich, all people don't have the strength like we do. So sometimes people just need a little motivation, a little conversation, a little education. Sometimes you got to make them mad, get them peed off. So come on, man, that don't give up mentality. Because it's easier to give up than it is to fight. It's easier not to be successful than it is successful, because being successful and accomplishing things, you got to sacrifice. You got to work for it. It just ain't going to come to you. So, man, and that's all we want to do, man, is collaborate with people like yourself and make your job easier with the platform we have. And we get together and we can just have a slumber party and have a good old time. Make everybody smile and laugh,
Yes. How hard has it been, getting the organization going, connected with people? What kind of obstacles have you guys encountered?
You better talk to Liz on this one. That is her party. Hey, Rich, you know me. I open the door, and Liz brings them through. So hey.
I was actually, when I met Selwyn, he was actually going through a pivot himself. A lot of relationships come and go, business wise, because this is a business. We in the changing lives business.
Crows fall off.
And the thing is when you're aligned with the right people that has the like minds, mission, vision, and values, it makes it a lot easier. And I feel like we're at that place now. We got a solid team. We got a direction. We got our goals. And it's moving. And I told him the other day, I was like, Uncle Selwyn, we have got to be careful what we put out there, what we say, what we're gonna do, because everything that we planned out.
1 second, we got to take this first station break. We're gonna be right back on 106.9 Awesome Radio with Selwyn Jones and Elizabeth Darden.
How did Noah care for the animals? This is Ken Ham, editor of the powerful book on Noah's flood, a flood of evidence. Many secularists mock the account of the flood, claiming there's no way just 8 people can care for all the... Now, as we learned yesterday, Noah only needed a few thousand animals on the ark, far fewer than most people think. And consider that today, many farms care for thousands of animals using labor-saving devices. Gravity...
Can you hear me?
Of course I can.
Oh, okay. Yeah, this is I sometimes I switch it back from the radio station. I think we got about another minute or so, but I just like to keep interacting because sometimes
Still live.
yes.
All
For the
people have gone before.
So but yeah, this is great. This is great to have y'all here. And you guys met how long ago?
2 years.
2 years.
1 year, 8 months, 27 days, 32 minutes, and 15 seconds.
He lying about that.
I know. That sounded real good. I was like, wait a minute now. That's good.
Hey, I'm close because we met November the 17th.
Is that when that was?
I'm close.
All right. Well, yeah. Let me switch the microphones back real quick,
okay,
so I can be ready for the this thing comes back on.
Yes, I'm close. Close.
Straight health. Go to appreciationatwork.com.
And we are back here at 106.9 Awesome Radio. I'm your host, Richard Taylor, at the U-Turn Show. You're here at 106.9 Awesome Radio with my special guest, Selwyn Jones.
Uncle Selwyn
Jones, and also Elizabeth Darden. But yeah, we were talking about, I guess, like, how hard is this journey, to just overcome the obstacles, the stereotypes, the just the walls that may present themselves in accomplishing your goals. Because we just talked about an event that we are hopefully collaborating on in Charlotte.
No, we in.
Yes.
And young man, when I talk about hard, I talk about waking up in the morning and having to go in the back room, get a ham out that you cured out, cut the worms out of it, boil it, then eat it.
So you
That's
talk about
hard.
That country 111 lifestyle.
Country 111 life. That was
Once upon a time.
Yeah. Hard is pulling up to a building next to a building that you own, and somebody has bleep off NIGGER. Hard is coming to a town that you've been coming in for 23 years. And you know everybody in town. Your wife's first cousin owns the gas station, and you can't go and get gas or buy anything from the store. Hard is knowing what people are and how people are, because I learned what people were when I was a kid growing up. That was hard. Easy is being me and not caring. Because you've heard me use this analogy so many times, my brother. Eagles fly higher than any birds. And I'm a bald eagle. So every other bird around me that don't want to fly like me, because if you're not beside me, if I'm not talking to you, that means you're not an eagle. So all those other things, be gone. I don't need you. I care for you. I don't wish no harm or no bad on you whatsoever. But I am traveling a path that very few people have traveled been successful, and let's be reality, had longevity traveling this road. So a lot of things don't bother me. A lot of things don't fear me. A lot of things do not irritate me. Because from 111, North Carolina, I've heard everything that I've ever needed to hear as I grew up as a kid. I've been called more names than you can imagine. I've been called more of the bleeps than you can imagine in the last 3 years. I have Confederate flags that fly in my town. Now keep in mind, I've been coming to this same town for 23 years. We own a farm. I own 4 or 5 houses. I own a motel.
Oh,
And I went from one day everybody talking to me saying, "Hey, good old boy," to the dumbest skin in the world because somebody murdered my nephew. And hey, guess what? It's life. It is life, man. People fall by the wayside. If they don't care, I don't care. Because I know that I got a mission. And I'm not going to let my babies down, Liz's babies, your babies. My daggone sure ain't gonna let my nephew down. Because I owe him. Because he gave everybody a little piece of him when he died. And I'm not gonna let that 5'11" 11-inch soul sister mama mine down because she's up there looking at me.
Right.
I must do right by her. So
Right.
I gotta do right by him.
I don't feel like it's as hard when you're fueled with purpose and passion to make a change because it's sun up to sundown. It's late
24/7.
hours, it's early mornings, it's meetings back to back, it's connecting, it's reaching out, it's balancing, it's juggling. Life is hard. You just got to choose your hard, right? I see that. Might be cliche, but you just got to
Never
choose
said
your
it was
hard.
gonna be easy. They never
But-
said it would be easy.
But it becomes a lot more fun when you're fueled with passion and purpose. And that's what drives me at this point, to make this world better for my babies, because I have to sacrifice a lot of time in structuring my days out to make sure we meet all our needs, to pay the bills, to get their food on the table, to do all their sporting events. That's hard. Life is hard in general. But
and I
Go
was
ahead.
going to ask you too, in addition to that hard, because you mentioned yourself that you are raising black children.
mhm.
As a Caucasian woman, how difficult has that been? Coming from, or has it been difficult coming from? I guess.
So-
Let me tell you. Hold on. Let me speak for a second.
Okay.
People, if you listening, if you can see
Uh-huh.
me, I went to a part where there was probably 4 people that looked like me.
Uh-huh.
And this place that she lives has the Ku Klux Klan to live on the outside of town. And what made her stand out to me? She's only 5'2", and she's walking around the whole park bossing people. I didn't realize that it was her event. Most people, when they go back to country towns, when they have little babies, little soul brothers and sisters, they are ashamed. They're standing over in the corner. They're not out and about. And she's running around like a chicken with a head cut off. And that was the first thing I said, daggone, look at this little boss lady here. Little did I know. So yeah. So scared, got no fear in her when it come down to them babies and trying to make a difference.
I
Go ahead,
hear
Liz,
them
I'm
keep
sorry.
coming in, so they keep coming in. They want to be involved, I guess, in the interview.
Like I said, man, it's hard. It's hard. It's hard.
Yeah, you still on mute. But wait a minute, we got one. This is our last station break, so we're gonna take this quick break. We're gonna be right back. You 106.9 Awesome Radio here with Selwyn Jones and Elizabeth Darden. We'll be right back.
Can your child pray at the public school? You're going to want to know the answer to this. Stay tuned.
Solid legal advice.
I can't mind. I was trying to mind.
You'll find a helpful perspective in today's edition of the Legal Alert from the Christian Law Association.
And we were just talking about setting up my studio in the outbuilding. I need that bad.
We're gonna have to do that.
Okay, I can't hear you. Hold on. Just let me make this change.
Ain't nothing we did, Richard.
All right, can you hear me now?
Yes, we can, Richard.
All right, I can hear y'all too. What the little person want? I saw him over there. I missed him.
She's coming to the desk and trying to make some crafts. She's just
just busy, huh?
being a
Busy on-
mile.
Mama.
busy-
Yeah.
busy on the school bag. But yeah, so this last segment is about 20 minutes, but
Okay.
that is great. That is great. That is great because I know, and that's in Harrison. Did you live there before?
No, I was
And
born and
moved
raised in
back?
Anchorage, Alaska. I moved out of Alaska when I was 21, and then I lived in Dallas for 4 years, and then I came here.
Okay.
So I've been here about 12
And
years.
what made you choose there?
My roots are here. My family settled in a town outside of here where the Buffalo National River is.
Okay.
And so I would visit my grandma in the summers, and I would hear about, the ninth king of the KKK being outside of town for my cousins. And there's all this,
Uh-huh.
they have an address near here, and his son is an attorney in town. And they just put a really bad rap. And this town has many stains of hatred, like other towns in the South. And so they've been trying to clean up, but they've been actively cleaning it up and facing and changing the narrative because of what they've been labeled, and they've been open. And when people come here from different backgrounds, they don't feel the effects of what people say it is. It's kind of become a joke.
Was.
What it was,
When you
what
ride
many
through a
towns
town
were, what
and it
many
got
Southern towns
billboards,
were.
when you ride through a town, it's got billboards.
There's still
White
one
folk,
standing.
white power.
We had them
Uh,
removed. The
If
task
you ain't
force,
white, if it ain't white, it ain't right.
but that's what the town majority don't have, that mindset. So they had those billboards removed. So we could talk about that in the next segment if you want.
Oh yeah, definitely. Oh yeah.
Hello, we're back at K97 FM.
One second.
He's always trying to take over shows, man. Don't let him.
All right, let me see. Let me change this.
Wow, thanks for calling me out, man. It's normally you. Richard,
Okay.
we got a problem.
No, we don't.
Hold on, we got it with the sound here. Okay, here we go. Just 1 second.
All right, back here at 106.9 Awesome Radio, the U-Turn Show, back with Selwyn Jones and also Elizabeth Darden. And we were just talking about the town of Harrison, Arkansas, where was once I would say, I guess, a haven, for the Ku Klux Klan and organizations and mindsets like that. But you said they have been working feverishly to
Yes.
stereotype, and you were mentioning that they had a lot of signs that was up there, and you said they have one left. What did that one left say?
So the signs he's referring to is the billboards. There was, I think, 4 or 5 standing billboards, and the task force helped to remove 3 of them, and there's still one standing. And they're promoting their media outlet, White Pride Radio. And that's, I shouldn't even said that because it's perpetuating.
Right, yeah.
But they had signs that said diversity equals white genocide.
Racism.
It's not racist to love people. It has a picture of a white kid, and just
White
and
is
that's
right.
and that's the one that's still standing, and that's right when you enter the town, right on the county city line. And it's just such an eyesore for people passing through because of the past. People didn't want to stop in Harrison. People didn't want to stop in Harrison because in 1905 they ran the blacks out of town. And so just like other towns in the South, they have those things of hatred, but they've been working tirelessly to promote diversity. We have the headquarters of the FedEx Freight. Diversity is more and more people are coming here.
An entire story on the town because I
You
love
should.
history like that.
I
Now,
can send you some write-ups too.
Please.
There was 100,000. There was 100,000 black people killed in the South that got ran out of these towns.
Yeah, we were in
And
Pierce
they got-
City. We were in Pierce City, Missouri a few weeks ago. His family was down visiting, and we got a call that they were in. They were doing a memorial candlelight vigil 122 years later, and just hearing the history of that parallels to here.
Hey.
And I will take over this conversation. And we went to this town, and they had a candlelight vigil for a lynching that they had in 1901.
Wow. In Pierce
And,
City, Missouri?
And
Pierce
it was
City.
in Pierce City, Missouri. And buddy, let me tell you, we went there, and it was late at night when we got there. And I sat on the ground and I listened at this gentleman tell step by step illustrations of what happened, how they threw a rope across the cable. They had cable, the telegraphs back then.
Okay.
And they couldn't hang him, so they took him to the church and threw him out the window to kill him. And then because this other guy, which was black, had been a nuisance one time, they went and got him and killed him. Then they took a 50 caliber and they shot up the black residents that were living in that town, which was about 50 of them. And
Then they started burning them down, the houses.
I felt, wow. And every time I hear that, it takes me back. It takes me back. I don't even ask why anymore. All I'm trying to do is to stop it.
Yeah, just change.
All I'm trying to do is educate people and let people know that this ain't how it's got to be. Because in 50 years, we're all going to be a little mix and match and something. I think most of us are now, honestly. But to hear how there's over 5,000 people lived between 1896 and 1925. Think about that. Over 5,000 people lynched, thrown ropes. Hey, wait. Let me get this one on you, and then I'll let Liz go. What's the name of the river in Goldsboro?
Oh, the Neuse River.
You ever thought about that?
Mm-mm.
Yeah. Because I wanted to mention right in the next county, which is Johnston County. I used to look this up. They had a big sign called Clan Country. Love it or leave it.
Hold on, buddy. When you come,
that was removed, I think, in the late 70s, early 80s.
When you come from Newton Grove, it said home of the Ku Klux Klan. I got a picture of the sign. It was on 95. I got a picture of the sign. When you come in to Wilmington, or you come in, there was one right before Mount Olive too. But when you come into Wilmington, home of the Ku Klux Klan.
Wow.
So man, Wayne Auto Savage. Every Friday night, as a kid, after we played football, we would ride by Wayne Auto Savage, and you could see him out there burning the cross on 117. Every Friday night. So
it's important to meet people where they are, because at the end of the day, like coming to a community like this,
can't change them.
Well, actually, I would counter.
Hold
on. How about I talk for me what Liz believes? Because I was
teach your old dog new tricks.
Well,
go ahead.
There's stories that shows otherwise, but growing up in a community, I attended the most diverse high school in the country.
What does this say?
And I got the mic again.
No, I'm here. Y'all, it's about bedtime, so she's a little needy right now. But growing up in a very diverse community, it says mom.
What does it say?
She's learning. She's reading.
You can't. All right. Okay. She going full mom.
Okay. We live in a systemic world, and racism isn't a gene. It was taught, and people still teach their babies, siblings, how to interact that specific way. And granted, we want to move forward. Right. I don't want to live in the past. That's past, present, future.
But here's the thing,
we're in the present, and we want to make we are in the present. We want to make the future better.
Here's the thing, people are like, why are we still talking about things that happened over a century ago? Because they're still occurring, if not
every day, all day.
Right. And so we have to talk about it to change it. We can't swipe it under the rug and pretend like nothing happens, because what does silence do?
Silence is deadly.
Yeah, it perpetuates the issues. And so that's why it's important when you see something, you say something. You see a bully, you're going to speak up on it, right? We can't sit here and watch disempowered communities continue to get oppressed. And it's important. You know, I grew up differently than a lot of people in this community because of the different cultures that lived where I was. You know, we just embraced everybody. You had food and music and styles and everything. You had it all in one spot. And then you come here, it's culture shock to me as a white woman. I might look like a lot of people here, but they have a different
The party going on in your house.
so anyways, but coming here, I felt like I could offer a different perspective. So I became an educator, got heavily involved with the community, and it was just so important for me to get involved with the task force because I'm raising children that look different than the majority here.
Now, what is the task? You mentioned the task force a few times. Now, what is that task force?
The Harrison Community Task Force on Race Relations was established 20 years ago. There was actually like 3 white individuals, Rob McCorkindale, Lane Wheeler, and Patty Methvin. And they came together because they wanted to be a voice to oppose what the KKK was establishing. They had the louder voice. Majority of the people in this town didn't think the way they thought, but they have their experiences. They have what was taught to them. You know, they have their outlooks. But when they learn and are educated on certain issues, Uncle Selwyn, what's the mantra or the slogan? What do we do?
Dream, deliver, something like that.
Dream, breathe.
No, the other one. His first one.
Communication, conversation, motivation, education.
Okay.
Right. So you have to communicate.
Don't know.
Right. Some people don't know until they do, and then like, oh, that is wrong. That is, you know, and that's why it's important to just try to meet people where they are and have an open mind to have that conversation. They can be uncomfortable, but it's necessary.
Yeah.
Hey, can you tell the shine? Can you tell the shine that I'm having?
The shine.
Yeah, these lights is killing me. I look like I'm working in the sun. Son, look at me.
You put too much grease on your hair today.
It ain't grease, man. These lights are burning me up. I'm getting a tan, son.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. So, man, this and once again, you mentioned, you know, coming back to your hometown, Selwyn, you know, and trying to speak and do things there, but you also missing some hesitation. Where does that hesitation come from?
I do not like seeing recurring cycles. You know what the definition of insane is?
Yes.
Continuously doing the same thing, expecting a different result. A lot of times when I go back, I see some of the people that I grew up with, and they are still living in the same cycle because their minds are closed, because their lives have been, there's been a cap, or there's been low expectations, and people settle. I hate to see people settle. I hate to see misery because I could cry every day. And when you see somebody you went to high school with and he's still doing the same thing that he was doing back in the 80s, it breaks my heart. Am I reluctant to go back because I don't want to make a difference in Goldsboro? I'm stuck with knowing how it was when I was a kid. I'm stuck at the hatred that I know there, that I have known that was there. I'm stuck at the hatred that I still know exists there. But because I have this belief that all things can be changed, and hey, let's be real, we wake up every day with 2 things: chance and a choice.
Chance and a
And
choice.
I have an opportunity to go and let my words be heard. So maybe I can make a difference, you know, but if not, I'm willing to give it a shot. As long as you're there with me, big fella, we can go and do our thing and talk a little bit, you know. But I miss Goldsboro, and I'm so sad that all of the bad things that I learned from there. The 80s were heck. The 90s were heck. You know, we just
When did you leave? When did you leave Goldsboro?
98.
98. So I left in 2002. So we
So
didn't leave.
we were on an interview yesterday, and you know who Freeway Ricky Ross is?
Oh, I know Freeway Ricky.
Freeway Ricky Ross.
Yeah, the real Freeway. Now,
The real Freeway.
The real one, not
We
the
were
other.
on a conversation with the real one yesterday,
Okay.
and I was telling Liz about that Contra War and how they ostracized Oliver North because Oliver North wanted to tell the truth, and Liz did not really realize who Ricky Ross was. And I was basically telling Liz that Ricky Ross was that guy that they went to try to destroy our race with cocaine back in the 70s when it first come here to support the Contra War. That's who Freeway Ricky Ross is. And Freeway Ricky Ross is the cat that couldn't read, went to prison, and learned how to read, and he got himself out of jail. So it's a winner story. A lot of people come from the depths of heck. It don't matter how you start the storm, it's how you get through the storm. So,
Yeah.
all we want to do is we want to involve ourselves with a lot of people that want to win, that are winning. You know, my man, because this is the great train over here, buddy. That's the great train over there. If you're trying to be regular, stay home. If you just want to be average, don't call me. Because I'm trying to be great. And if you ain't trying to be great and make a difference or make an impact in somebody's life in a big way, I don't have time. Because I don't have much time. And I want to take advantage of all the time that I have left to make a difference. Because my nephew gave me an opportunity.
Yeah, as the scripture said, we must work while it's day, because night comes when no man or woman can work. And it's talking about, why we living, because when we die, we can't do anything. So we definitely got to take the chance every day. I know I wasted a lot of my years, I would say, in that type of lifestyle, in that stagnant lifestyle, in that miserable
You're not
lifestyle.
the only one.
Yeah, so, but
that's
now,
the reason why, to me, you are important for you to be in my system. Because I was talking to Liz about this the other day. There's a lot of young kids that are you,
mhm.
but I want them to be you now.
Yeah.
And unless your story gets told on a major platform worldwide, it will never be as detrimental and beneficial as it can. Because, my man, you have got that story. You have got the winning formula. And where did it come from? All within self, my brother.
Yeah.
All within self. Nobody could stop you from doing anything. Nobody could push you from doing anything. So it's so important for kids, young adults, to not only hear what I got to say, but to hear what you got to say, because you have been through there. And you come out on the other side of that storm, and guess what? The sun shines a lot better on this side than that side.
Oh yeah, definitely. And I have to give credit to God. You say it's in the self, but I know without my higher power, God, that I wouldn't be here. And I don't care if you believe in Allah, you believe in Buddha, you're 5% or whatever it takes to make you a better man. I can't deny that.
If you gotta go swing on the grapevines in the middle of the night to make yourself win this battle, go swing, have fun.
Hey, look, so we got two lads, you got 2 more minutes. I'm gonna give y'all a minute apiece to give the audience, some last minute words. I'll start with you, Liz.
First of all, I just appreciate the opportunity to be here tonight. We found it very important to lift the voices and highlight individuals' stories who've been impacted by police brutality or other injustices. So just go, when you're done with this show, head over to Setting It Straight with Selwyn on all major podcast platforms and follow us at Hope929.org. We got some incredible projects that we're working on, and be on the journey with us, continue the conversations and live in your purpose, just like y'all were talking about. I love what you were just saying. It's so important. Thank you so much.
Straight with
I'm gonna give my minute up. 30 seconds apiece.
Okay.
What does it look like in 5 years from you, Mr. Taylor?
What does it look like in 5 years
For you.
for me? Hopefully, I will have a transition home started for guys coming out of prison, and maybe a couple of youth homes for youth who are impacted by the foster care system or even the criminal justice system.
Time up. Liz, what does it look like?
Well, just writing off of what he just said, I think we got to collaborate because one of our projects we're working on is similar to transition homes. 5 years, we right now we got our first one going in. We're breaking ground, and next month we're going to go on tribal reservations. 5 years, we're going to have at least five of these housing were created, affordable housing, community resource center. We want to take it all over the map. So that's
everyone, thank you for having us. Remember this, Uncle Selwyn, I'm going to take 10 seconds. Hope, justice, and life.
Hope, justice, and life.
Hope, justice, and life.
Definitely. And I just want to thank both of y'all. It's been a pleasure to meet with y'all. It's a pleasure to hopefully work with y'all and everything. I think
see you in November.
Audience and also our Facebook and YouTube audience. Y'all make sure y'all keep up with us. You heard what she said, the different platforms, but you have been listening to 106.9 Awesome Radio. Peace and blessings.
Woo!
Lord, I need